Hey there, toy collector friends and Star Wars fans alike, particularly Revenge or Return of the Jedi fans from Star Wars. What a fantastic piece I'm looking at today. Welcome back to the channel. I am the Triple TC, that's the time traveling toy collector, and this is something that was teased at the 2023 Star Wars Celebration event that took place in London. This is as part of the 40th anniversary celebration of Return of the Jedi. They've released this special edition Darth Vader figure, which is colorized based on this poster of what was sold originally as Revenge of the Jedi. Revenge of the Jedi, for those who don't know, and I'm sure there's not many of you, but if you don't know, was the original working and shooting title of the third installment of the original Star Wars trilogy. It was changed just prior to release by George Lucas, who felt Revenge wasn't particularly Jedi-ish, to Return of the Jedi, which was far more sort of appropriate to the storytelling of the time. But much of the marketing that had gone out initially was Revenge of the Jedi. In fact, I actually remember seeing posters and artwork for Revenge of the Jedi in certain comics that I had back in the 80s, and then was surprised when I saw that it rebadged as Return of the Jedi, and I thought, that's not right, it's a typo, it's a printing error, and then was very confused when, because of course back in the 80s there was no internet, you couldn't check with stuff, and I was like, well, have I imagined Revenge of the Jedi? Because everywhere you looked it was Return of the Jedi. And there was no way of actually checking what had gone on, and I just doubted myself for a very, very long time. But no, Revenge of the Jedi was a thing. It was the working title, and this box is beautiful. This was a pre-order that went up at Star Wars Celebration times. It was a sort of a semi-exclusive. It was then, I think, available to pre-order at a different rate via Hasbro Pulse or the Hasbro website. But anyway, this is phenomenal. I really love this. You're never quite sure what you're going to get, but this is phenomenal. It screams 80s, but it also screams everything you would want it to scream here in the 21st century. Now, I'm going to, full disclosure, because of the way that the figure was packaged, I have already taken it out, just for the fluidity of the video, really. But I still want to show you the nuances of the box. So we have this here, and it's actually, it's both a mini double-sided poster, it's same both sides, but it's a sliding door, which now won't work for me probably. So it slides up and down to reveal the cavity in which the figure and its lightsaber is stored. And I really, really appreciated that. I thought it was a lovely touch for this particular packaging. Just bring it in and swoosh it around. There's the reverse side of the packaging. And as you can see, there's that red hue. It's a Star Wars Black Series figure. You can see that there. But it's got this red hue, very, very much in keeping with the original way this film was being sold. And the figure itself, the reason it's such a special edition, is that the figure itself carries this red hue into its design. So, as I say, it's a lovely box, a lovely Black Series approach, so it's very high-end packaging, which again, with that lift-up door situation on the other side, really does mean that the box itself can be used effectively as a display mechanism, which I think is really, really good. And if you are one of those sensible people who throw their boxes away, you could just take the door out, this sliding door out, and you've got a little poster which you could put behind the figure to display it, and you can throw the box away. It just gives you quite a few elements of display ability. So let's move, without further ado, to the main event itself, and I'll get this box out of the way. So, where are we? Here we are. So this is, and I'll bring it forwards a little more. This is that Darth Vader. And I have put him on a stand just to make sure that he does, well, stand. But you can see already the and I do think it's fabulous, the fabulous red detailing on the figure's body. There is, if you've watched any of my other Star Wars figures that I've looked at from the new range, or the Black Series range, I've commented on this notion of soft goods being such a feature. Well, this is the first, I'll be honest, this is the first time the soft goods as a feature have actually, for me, been a feature of note. Because there's just so much. There's so much of it. And also, I'm hoping you can see on the camera, I'll pick him up in a minute so you can get a really good look. But this cape, or cloak if you prefer, has sort of the red and black tone throughout the entire thing, and I think that is purely phenomenal. I really do. And I don't think I'm pretty sure that the filming of this won't do it justice, which is a terrible shame, because I do think it is wonderful. But let me pick him up. In terms of points of articulation, you get everything you would expect. You get neck articulation, although it doesn't give you a huge range of movement, but you get it. Butterfly in the shoulders, so you've got outward and rotational movement. You've got bicep rotation, elbows and wrist articulation. You've got sort of, it feels like an O-ring around the hips and the sort of the thighs, but you do have thigh rotation. You also have knee articulation and ankle tilt, but only forward and back. It doesn't give you any sideways. So that's a breakdown of the figure's articulation, so that I won't need to go into huge amount of details around that, because really I just want to show you what this figure looks like. So let's get in a bit closer. Apologies for the shaky hand cam, as I bring us up close and personal with this iteration of Darth Vader. And I think it's really, really incredible. I think everything about this figure is brilliant. The lightsaber, as we probably are all aware by now, comes with its hilt, but the blade itself is detachable. And then the handle will attach to Lord Vader's belt. There's a little hook there on the belt. You hopefully can see there. And this there is a hook, a hoop on the handle itself, which will attach there. Now, there is let me move my stand out of the way. There's quite a bit of reflection on here, but I'm hoping that doesn't get in the way of you seeing what I want you to see. So this helmet has so much of that red art. I mean, it's in some ways you could say, well, it's because Lord Vader is so steeped in blood. You know, let's get this cloak out of the way. Fantastic, this cloak. But I think it's more to do with the fact that you've got this rageful, vengeful colour scheme in the marketing, and it bled into the imagery. And this character really embodies all of that. So, I mean, I'm hoping you can see that head sculpt, and you can see those eyes. There were the very dark red lenses in the original costume. And some of the figures have modelled and sort of really lived up to that sort of red-esque eye lens. I don't think any of the previous figures have ever gone as far as this in terms of that coloration. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit more into the body for you. Let's see if I can crack a bit closer, just to make life easier. So you can really see the quality of that head sculpt. I mean, look at that, and it's just so beautiful. This is one of the reasons I couldn't keep it in the box, because I was like, I recently managed to pick up a Jedi Knight Black Series Luke Skywalker, And I thought, well, if ever there was a pose to be done somewhere along the line in my toy photography, it would be with these two figures. Look at that detailing. Now, what's interesting is that there is a lot of detailing, but they haven't gone with all sort of the traditional paint apps here. They've sort of kept that red and black. That's what you're getting here. So where there might be lights and blinking and various other bits and pieces, when that is not what this figure is about. This figure is the fury and the rage and the revenge of the Jedi, and so help me, you really get that. You really get that throughout the tones, all the way down the legs. You can see, I mean, look at these. Let me get my hands out of the way. Look at these legs. And it's you know, you could argue that it's beautifully done to reflect the red tones of the fight between Vader and his and Luke. Nearly launched a spoiler, 40 years in the making. Let's have a look around the back of the figure. I haven't actually yet. Look how much cape there is. I mean, it's ridiculous. Batman would be jealous. Apologies, Darth Vader, I'm putting it over your head. But we've got this lovely sense. It's following all the way through. His belt continues all the way through. We've got this secondary piece which really comes right round the legs. And it is a really good quality. You know, sometimes the soft goods are a little bit unfinished. I refer you to my Ahsoka Tano action figure. Not so great. This foot doesn't look like it's in a very good place. Looks a bit tricksy. So I might have to have a... Sorry, you couldn't see that. It just looks a little bit of an angle. But I think that might aid with some elements of posability. But overall, or hamper it, sorry. Surprise, Halloween Darth Vader. But I think, you know, here we have let me just pull out slightly so you can see where we're at with this guy. But I think here we have a really great example of a reimagining, a simple reimagining to boot, of an exceptional and very, very iconic figure, which, you know, at any time I think we would really appreciate a figure that looked like this, but I think we can particularly appreciate it as we spend this year and future years remembering, celebrating that 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, back when we thought it was going to be called Revenge of the Jedi. It's just a beautiful, beautiful display piece. And yeah, I get we're not seeing a totally new mold in any way, shape or form, but I'm not really necessarily looking for that. I'm looking for something that is, you know, stand out. It brings a lot of character and uniqueness, and I really think we get this with this version of Darth Vader. I really, really love it, and I'm here for that. So thank you for spending the last not quite 15 minutes with me. I will take some close-ups for you and include those at the end of the video. If you found this of interest, if you're interested in Star Wars figures or Star Trek stuff, or Transformers or Doctor Who, G.I. Joe, Battlestar Galactica, goodness knows what, then maybe, you know, subscribe to the channel. There'll be going to be something here that you may find of interest if you found this of interest. Maybe you weren't sure whether or not this was going to be something you wanted to get your hands on, and this has given you a really good chance to have an up close and personal look at this figure, and it really is a beautiful figure. But maybe it's not your cup of tea, it's not what you fancy, so maybe it's made you decide you want it, maybe it's helped you realise you don't. Either way, a like to the video would be fantastic. And let me know in the comments if you think this is a figure that you would pick up. Maybe you've picked it up and you're in love with it. Maybe you've picked it up and you feel a bit disappointed. Let me know what you think. I personally love it. I love the concept of it, and I'm really looking forward to what the future holds for the Black Series and other Star Wars figures, now that I'm kind of getting sucked back into collecting them. But yeah, if you could drop a like and subscribe to the channel, it's free to do so. It doesn't cost you a penny. And it doesn't mean you're signing up to anything. I'm not asking you to join my Patreon. I don't have one. That's easy. So it's just a little thing that helps support the channel. It's a small click for you and a gigantic step in the right direction for me as I aim to reach my next milestone in terms of followers, which would be fantastic. It's just a small channel, so anything is much appreciated. Anyway, as I say, thank you very much for spending time with me. I know there's lots of things you could be watching. I've been the time-travelling toy collector. You have been a fantastic audience, and this has been the Black Series Star Wars Revenge of the Jedi 40th anniversary action figure from Hasbro, pretending to be Kenner, but you know how that plays out. Anyway, take care, and it just remains for me to say that I look forward to seeing you in a future video, and that a thing of beauty really is a toy forever. Bye-bye for now.